for something interesting to do. Others dig in and find it. While nothing is certain, anything is possible. And the anticipation leads you into action. Because it's here that adventures begin, stories are unearthed, secrets are revealed, fortunes are found, mysteries are solved, and the past is brought to life. Nothing valued is ever lost. It's simply waiting to be discovered. So here's the question. What are you looking for?
Good evening and welcome to the Big Detecting Show. It's Thursday and it's 8 p.m. Welcome up one and all. Sadly, Facebook has had a brain fart again and we aren't streaming on Facebook. So if you see me looking away momentarily, it'll be because I'm sharing the link to everybody where we usually go to. So I do apologise. Adrian, how are you?
Good. You, Dave?
I was all right till then.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've had an absolutely wacky couple of days, and it's I'll be glad when it's all done and dusted. Have you been out?
No, I was only out of what's it called? Self-isolation Wednesday.
All right, yeah.
I had COVID test this week. Nearly gagged in the car. That weren't much fun. Negative, obviously. So I'm allowed out now, but we've had a lot of snow. Not a lot. Well, for southerners, we've had a lot. For you northerners, it's a couple of inches. But the ground's frozen, very wet. But I'm hoping to get out this weekend, and next week I've got a day off. So because obviously metal detecting isn't my full-time job, I do have a job. So I'm going to book a day off and go out. But there's been some good finds coming up.
There are. We do have a bundle to explore later on in the show, which people have obviously sent in via the Big Detecting Show Facebook group. And tonight we have a big competition draw for Graham Dempsey Composite Pencil Company. 228 people have signed up for that. So thank you one and all. And to Graham, obviously. So that'll be about 7:45. Also, if you keep your eye on a banner at the bottom of the screen, which my good friend and confidant, Mr. Higgins, will shortly run across, we are going to be asking 1 or 2 questions during the show. You're allowed to answer. We're just trialing this. We're trialing 1 or 2 things tonight, and this being the first. You can answer. You can Google the answer. Luke's going to do the questions, and whoever Luke spots as the first person in the comments to answer the question correctly, you will win something. It could be a beanie hat. It could be an ArcMD mag patch. It just could be anything. Luke's got some things there, and I've got some things here. So we'll let you win, and then you can just be happy when things turn up at your house and you're like, ooh, wasn't expecting that. Won't be a metal detector. So yes, we're looking forward to trying that. And we're also trying Dave Cam 2 this evening. Luke, would you like to click over to Dave Cam 2? Is he there? There he is. Is Dave Cam 2? So we can look at 1 or 2 things without the need to explore and before all the malarkey that goes on with the green screen. So Dave Cam, there you go. So we're trialing them things this evening, see how they go, see if it works, and hopefully they will. So first things first, without further ado, we will get on to this week's news. I'm sharing the screen, Luke. I can, if you see me looking away, it's because I've got my laptop. I can actually see what's going on, which is ace. So anyway, first up in the news this week is a rare 500-year-old Henry VII Tudor coin worth £950,000 to be auctioned by the Royal Mint. The Royal Mint is flogging an incredibly rare coin on its digital auction, and the starting price is 900. Starting price? Good Lord.
Oh, that is mad, isn't it?
History buffs have traced the coin back to the first Tudor king, Henry VII, and there are only 2 of these coins which are privately owned in the world. Isn't that magnificent?
Yeah. Wonder why they're auctioning it off. Obviously, because they need the money, but...
Next up, a stash of more than 600 Roman-era silver coins have been discovered in Turkey. Archaeologists in Turkey unearthed a hoard of Roman-era silver coins in a jug buried near a stream. The 651 coins are around 2,100 years old, but despite their age, the text and imagery engraved on them is still legible, said Elif Özer, an archaeologist at Pamukkale University in Turkey, who helped excavate the coin jug in Ezanay, an ancient Greek city on Turkey's western, good Lord, Kütahya province. I could say Pamukkale because I've been there, Adrian.
Yeah, careful.
Yes, careful. Buried treasure finds. Now, 3 of the stories tonight, Adrian. I'm uploading them onto here, and I'm thinking, I'm sure that's wrong. Each one of these stories are from different places altogether. I.e., this one is Herefordshire. There's one from Powys, and there's one, I think, from Wiltshire. And the text is basically exactly the same, and the images used were exactly the same. So,
stock photo, that is. That's a stock photo, that one.
Well, the others are stock photos, but the actual the article itself was exactly the same.
Yeah.
A record number of buried treasure troves were discovered in Herefordshire in 2019, figures reveal. Fortune hunters and metal detectives made 16 discoveries over the year, data from the British Museum and the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport shows. The largest haul since records began in 2012. A total of 71 finds were reported in Herefordshire over an 8-year period. There you go. On sale now, a couple of days ago, was this month's Treasure Hunting magazine. And the article regarding Henry VIII's crown and jewel is included as well, which is a fantastic article, Adrian.
Yes, it is. There's some good articles in this month. I like, I've forgotten his name on the front. The front cover is proper posing, isn't he? Look what I found. Look at that.
Yeah, but I've seen other people on the front of said magazine posing also.
Yes.
Moving on.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah.
Here's the second one that I mentioned. This is how many people are digging up treasure in Powys. More than half a dozen buried treasure troves were discovered in Powys in 2019, figures reveal. Fortune hunters and metal detectors made 8 discoveries over the year, data from the British Museum and the Department of Digital Media, Cultural Sport shows. The largest haul since it began in 2012. A total of 27 were reported in Powys over the 8-year period, the figures show.
Nice.
Enter to win. Competition currently taking place on detectable.com/competitions in aid of the Rennie Grove Hospice Care. You'll have to go on there because there's lots of different prizes. This is one of 3 monthly draws. Lots of different prizes and lots of different. I think they start. Oh, there you go. Entry starts from as little as 25 pence.
That's
so
for the
hop on over there.
And it goes to money. Some of the money goes to charity, which
to Rennie Grove Hospice Care. Yeah.
Yeah, and after this year's Detectable not happening, they're desperate for funds, and it's a good cause. So I've bought some tickets. Not that I need another detector, but I probably won't win anyway.
Show of support nonetheless, my friend.
Yeah.
Swindon and Wiltshire remain hotspots for finding treasures after dozens of new discoveries. Wiltshire is still one of the country's hotspots for finding treasure finds and dozens of discoveries made in 2019. Fortune hunters and metal detectorists made 61 discoveries over the year, which was the country's joint 6th biggest country, according to the data from the ones I said before. A total of 336 finds have been reported in Wiltshire and Swindon since records began in 2012. I bet most of them are Gary Cook. Find things he finds. And finally, magnet fishers' explosive catch. Spalding, which is in Lincolnshire, homes were evacuated on Monday after a Womble and history buff pulled a live grenade from the Coronation Channel. Chris Dark of Weston was magnet fishing around St. Paul's Bridge around 4 p.m. when he reeled in the explosive device thought to date back to World War II. The explosive ordnance disposal team was called in to make the device safe. Don't forget, any people who do fancy a go at magnet fishing, if you visit Online Magnets and provide the code ARCMD10, you'll get 10% off your purchase. And as ever, on the bottom, there's links to the Android and iOS apps. Don't have to take a drink, Adrian. I think we're drinking off. And that is this week's news. I don't know where I am now. I've got 2 computers going. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. I'm looking at that one. There I am. So some great artifacts in there, Adrian.
Oh, sorry. I saw 2 of you then. Yeah. No, I wish I'd found that. Well, I'd like to find a grenade, but I wouldn't, if that makes sense. Especially magnet fishing, because if that pulls the pin out when you pull the magnet off, But
you need a new magnet,
yeah,
and potentially new arms.
mm-hmm. Do find a lot of ammunition. I think when my granddad, after the Second World War, he dumped a load of ammunition in a ditch, because I can remember him telling me, because people, that's what they did. I don't think they wanted to hand it into the police, just dumped it in ditches. People like us to find it.
It's interesting. Obviously, where I live, there's probably less ammunition and stuff related to World War II. It was down on the south coast, etc. You were obviously at the front line, more or less. So
yeah,
I mean, probably think there's more down south. There's more of everything down south, as we learned through the Portable Antiquity Scheme report.
Yeah, there is, and there's loads of bunkers. I mean, I went for a walk the other day and come across a bunker which hasn't had graffiti on it, hasn't had kids burning stuff, and it's totally original. And it was quite nice to see, actually. And I showed my son through it and all that. And it's overgrown, but it's out the way. But there's still a lot. We've got a lot. I've probably got 5.
What are you looking at? Over there?
Yeah, there's. I've probably got 5 within a mile from my house.
Yeah.
Bunkers. And I also got an anti-tank gun placement about 2-minute walk from my house as well. Nothing on it now.
Interesting. And we were actually talking about World War II stuff before the show with our guest tonight. Look at this for a segue. With our guest tonight, Kaylee, from the YouTube channel History of Kaylee. And I've actually saved the picture so she could just give us a brief description later, because what a photograph that was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It didn't look real. It looked rendered. But, yeah, very interesting. Yeah, very exciting having Kaylee on tonight. Be really
Absolutely. Good. Been looking forward to it for a while. And I think Kaylee's been looking forward to it also. So without further ado, can we bring our guest for tonight, Kaylee? Good evening.
Good evening.
There you are. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. It's brilliant to have you. Obviously, for those who don't know Kaylee, we're going to ask her to introduce herself a moment. But personally, I've been watching and sharing Kaylee's videos for some time, and we've actually got a playlist on the archmdmag.tv of Kaylee's videos. So, Kaylee, could you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Of course I can. My name's Kaylee. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 29, and I've been passionate about history for a long time. And I have another passion, which is architecture. So I combined the two, and I mostly look at ancient historical structures. Yeah.
And there's been some fantastic ones, haven't there, Adrian, on the videos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting channel. It's funny because I stumbled across Kaylee's channel before. Obviously, she came on the show. And the thing I like is they're not, your videos on your channel, Kaylee, aren't too long. They're just what I call nice bite sizes. I don't know if you have average time, but they don't go on too long. They're just quick, to the point, and very interesting.
Yeah, it's what I try to do. I noticed that when I make a long video, like the one with Stonehenge, I looked at the entire landscape, which is my longest, and I quickly realized that it was quite too long. I should have broken it into parts, with one part looking at just Stonehenge and another part looking at the entire landscape. Because putting it together in a 32-minute video, it took a lot out of me to make it, but also the views were down and the retention of people watching was lower than usual. So yeah, bite-sized is better.
Yeah, they are, definitely. What's your favourite video of Kaylee, Dave? Not that you've watched all of them.
I like the whale in the desert.
Yeah,
because
it's just
it's a little bit different than everything else. Obviously, you look at architecture, as you say, a lot, and ancient structures, but that obviously being a bit of folklore, mythology, and a little bit different. So I like, obviously, a little bit different. So I love that one.
Well,
and you.
Sorry, Dave.
No, you first.
What got you into thinking, I want to put this on YouTube? I want to set up a channel, Kaylee.
Well, I've been looking at like Anthony Murphy from Mythical Ireland for a long time, and he's focused a lot on just the Irish legends, the myths, the structures, and that got me passionate about doing something similar. But I like to look at global things because the ancient world was somewhat connected in a way. So I like to look at like the Dutch dolmens or the temples in Malta, or the last one I did was Watson Break in Louisiana in North America. Not many people know it even exists. So I like to look at things that aren't necessarily known. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And obviously that gains more interest in people seeing your channel. So
Yeah.
how long have you been doing it, Kaylee?
I started early March last year. Yes.
Right.
And you've got a lot of content on there already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to make one deep dive a month, one theory video a month, and if there's a new discovery, I will put that in, and sometimes a little bite-sized short video, or when I have the time, because renovations at home really take a lot of time away. We started renovations last year in February, so about a year ago now, and it's not the easiest combining the two. So yeah, I would have had more videos.
Do you do, obviously, a lot of the videos that you make, you're using stock photographs and
Yes.
other bits of videos from there. Is there many that you've actually been able to make yourself in Holland or in your travels?
Yeah, we made the Dutch dolmen video in June. We went there ourselves. Almost everything in that video is my own. Is what we made it, what we shot ourselves, the photographs we took ourselves. Just the drone footage I used, that was stock footage, and footage I got permission to use from 2 people at YouTube. Yeah.
Fantastic. Just to let people know, you may have just missed tonight's first question. Banner was along the bottom. Even I noticed it, and I don't notice anything. Kaylee, we got the first question. I'm instead of putting them all together, I'm going to do this throughout the show. If people do have a question for Kaylee, please jot it down, and we will read it out as soon as possible. Darren Booth of History on Earth YouTube channel, he asks, do you ever metal detect? Have you tried it?
Well, as we spoke about before, I have not metal detected myself, but I would love to try it, actually. I think it's a good activity. I think you can find some unknown things in this country, especially where I live. It used to be marshlands for a long time, but it has been inhabited for at least 2,000 years. So my own town is like, the oldest part is 1,000 years old, and I live in the youngest part, and this part is almost 950 years old. So it's still very old. I should be able to find something, I think.
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah, definitely. You don't ever come over to England, do you, Kaylee?
No, I haven't been. No. I've been to Egypt, a bit over the border in Germany, and in Belgium. But I haven't seen much of Europe.
Right. Did you go to the obvious Egyptian locations?
No, not yet. No, we are planning that.
You've not been to the pyramids or Luxor or?
No, we.
Do you know, I've beat you there, so I'm dead happy.
No, we wanted to, but the first year we went, there was a roadside bomb, and at least no one got hurt with that, but it did scare us, and my dad made me promise to stay at the resort. And the second year was like a year later in 2019, and there was another roadside bomb like 2 weeks before we went near Cairo, and Polish tourists did get hurt. So I had to promise my dad again, I'll stay at the resort. Yeah.
Next time, tell him you're going to Spain, but actually go to Egypt.
Yeah. No, we're already planning. If COVID allows, we will go in June this year, and we will go to Luxor. So probably not the pyramids, but at least the Valley of the Kings.
Absolutely fascinating. And interestingly, I need to actually update an article that I published last week. for people who are interested. And Kaylee, I'm sure you know about this, and I forgot what it's called. The Valley for the Kings website. Basically, it's all the 3D imagery of all the websites, and I'll remember it in a moment. My mind's gone blank because I wanted to talk about it. It's been closed down for a number of years, but they finally got everything back up and running. And it eludes me, and I'm waiting for somebody to tell me in the comments what it's called. But it is a fascinating site to go on to before. What's it called, Adrian?
Don't know. I don't know. I might be going to Egypt this year actually with work, so I'll do a bit of tourism, hopefully, COVID pending. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Never been. Always wanted to go to Egypt.
I went in 16 years ago, and it was great. The only problem for me, especially at the pyramids, was getting bothered by hawkers, and it just was so annoying.
Yes.
And everybody was like, you wouldn't leave me alone in any way, shape, or form. And it was just winding me up. But when we went away from the pyramids itself to, we would stay in it at the time, Sharm el Sheikh. So we'd done the trip over to the pyramids, and we stayed at a hotel overnight. And the curtains were closed when I went into the room, and it was nighttime. And I opened the curtains, and directly in front of me were the pyramids lit up, and it did take me breath away. It really did.
Wow.
But that experience and going to the Cairo Museum, because of the amount of people there, it just didn't cut the mustard for me. Whereas we went to Memphis and the Step Pyramid of Saqqara, and it was so quiet and you were left alone, and that was fantastic. And then previously to that, I went on a cruise down the Nile from Luxor to Aswan Dam. So it kept on stopping all the way along and back up again, and took a balloon ride over as the dawn raised above the Valley of the Kings, and that was another breathtaking experience. But I'd love to go back. I certainly would.
Maybe we could go, Dave, on a road trip.
Why not?
Yeah.
I like road trips.
Drive there.
I'm all right with that. I don't know if me Freelander will do that.
I'll drive. That's all right. I'll drive. We've got a question from. Oh, it's gone. Aaron Animates. Question for Kaylee. When are you going to American locations?
Well, Erin is a friend, so
Oh, is it?
she's been teasing. Yeah, she's a friend of mine. But I've been planning to go to the US at least somewhere within the next 2 years. Definitely.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. It was a Theban mapping project was the site I was on about. And you can go in deep, intricate detail and follow the route through every tomb, basically, in 3D imagery. And it's absolutely phenomenal. Question 1 winners. We have 2 winners. Jamie Williams for Bell, which I think he was actually calling me as opposed to the name of the person who invented it. And Darren Booth, History Unearthed for Alexander Graham Bell. So if you could both email me or Facebook Messenger me at some point over the next 24 hours, Luke and myself will sort something there. Pomzi bought a ticket, £10 to see the laser light show for the pyramids at Cairo. It turned out to be a spotlight. Well, I went to one at Karnak Temple laser show, and that was something else. Sat there at night with all the proper sound, and it was phenomenal. Anyway, moving on. So you've told us when you started and why you started, and you must obviously be very, very passionate for the subject. Of all the locations in the world that you have looked at in your videos, which would be the one that you would probably want to go to the most?
It's either the pyramid in Saqqara or probably Skara Brae in Scotland. Yeah, the island of Orkney.
Absolutely.
That I don't know what it was, but that blew my breath away. Would you know that there's actually potentially, they've just reported there might be a second one less than half a mile away. There you go. I saw. I'm very excited, but due to COVID and of course, like the land erosion, it's not sure if we can actually uncover it. So
Yeah.
that's it's exciting, but at the same time scary, because it might be gone before we even get the chance to actually look at it.
My young man, Archaeo Boy, has actually been doing his recent history project on Skara Brae, and I was made up because I'd done it for him. Excuse me.
Teacher's not watching.
Sorry?
I hope his teacher's not watching.
Be right. I think he might get extra credit for that.
Funny thing.
Using his initiative. Sorry, go on, Kaylee.
The Skara Brae video I made is actually used by some teachers in classes, apparently. Because I have kids coming to me and teachers coming to me about the fact that they watched it in class or they watched it through Zoom, or that's been happening quite a lot, actually.
Do you know, I might send it to my my son's teacher tomorrow, actually, now he said that.
Well, feel free.
Not? It's because it's, like I said earlier, they're quite concise and to the point, and easily absorbed videos. So, like I said earlier, you do it quite quickly, Kaylee. It's not a long-winded video, so for schools, it's ideal because it grabs their attention, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I try to. Well, it takes me about a week, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to get the information, but I want it to be understandable to like the masses and not just to people who are just passionate. So I grab the details and I try to put as much of that into it, but I still want it to have a kind of flow. Without a flow, I rewrite scripts sometimes because I don't feel that flow. And I want to give you the viewer what they want as soon as possible. So but it takes a bit of work.
How long sorry, Dave.
No, carry on.
How long does the average episode take you to do?
Well, the script can take between 1 and 2 weeks. The filming takes between 1 and 3 hours. And depending on how much my English really doesn't work, because that happens when you're Dutch, your brain goes a bit into both Dutch and English. So I have to film, and then my brain knows exactly what I need to say, and then the mouth just doesn't function. So it takes between 1 and 3 hours to film, and then the editing, depending on how long or how much I messed up, it's that gonna take. It can take between 4 hours and like 18 hours.
You do speak very good English. You do speak very good. Thank you. Yeah, very good. Nearly as good as me and Dave.
No, mate. Have you not noticed? I can't generally speak.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Same problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was once in Amsterdam and I was able to speak fluent Dutch, but I was actually upside down when I'd done it, so I've no idea how that worked. I do like Holland. Obviously, I've only ever been to the tourist capital, but it's a place I'd love to see. You know, the windmills, the tulip fields. The one of the images that I'm going to show later that you shared earlier of the World War II related places. Fascinating country, and even again, as though I've been to the main epicenter of Holland, more or less. The people were so nice. It was a great place to visit. Obviously, I keep calling it Holland, but it's the Netherlands, isn't it, for people from the Netherlands? So,
but to me, you can say Holland because I actually live in Holland. So
is there a difference?
Yes. If I send you a picture of like the map, I can show you which is North and South Holland, and the rest is just the Netherlands. So map the Netherlands provinces.
See, I'm actually learning something tonight. It is history with Kaylee, and to be honest, Kaylee, I think you need to do a short video explaining this because I never knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so I sent you a picture through the Facebook, and on it you can clearly see that we have the provinces, which are 12 different provinces. And
just one moment, just sharing the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So on the left upper corner, we have North Holland, which is where Amsterdam is. And just right below that in the pink is South Holland. Those two provinces together are Holland. And the rest of all the provinces of the country make up the Netherlands.
So you wouldn't therefore classify North and South Holland as the Netherlands?
We're part of the Netherlands, but we're officially Holland. Yes.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
I recognise some football teams on there.
Good. Football is very good. Well, soccer, as my American friends will call it.
Yes, they do.
It's that was fascinating because I never knew that. So I've learned, and everybody I think's learned something tonight. Don't forget keeping your questions coming. Me and Adrian are going to keep our eyes out. I'm just having a scroll now. What's your next video that you've got coming out, Kaylee?
Well, I've been working on my version of Sutton Hoo. I watched The Dig. I loved it. I knew it was coming, so I did not look into it before the movie came out because I didn't want to already have the information. I wanted the movie to show me and then afterwards look into it. But it's been kind of chaotic in the house because next week we have builders coming. They're putting in floor heating. We have to reorganize the entire living space, which isn't easy. So I've not been having much time to work on it, but I will look into what actually happened in the whole area when it was first settled, how the mounds came about, what they found. And afterwards, when all that's said and done, I will look into the differences between the movie and what actually happened. So where did the movie stray? What did they put in that didn't actually happen? Or, things like that. It's a bit, it's a deep dive with a twist.
Right.
Yeah. Look forward to that one. Absolute. Yes, fantastic film. It really was. I reviewed it and absolutely loved it. I was actually for the first time ever watching a film and making notes at the same time, which is out of character.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch it. I didn't make notes.
I'm definitely going to be rewatching it myself several times, I'm sure. I've been holding off because I'm trying to watch other things at the moment. YouTube videos, for instance. We're about 5 or 6 minutes away from this week's live draw. Now, just to make you aware that tonight's prizes will be in reverse order. Although it says first prize will actually be third prize, second prize will still be second prize, and the final prize drawn will be tonight's star prize from the Cleaning Composite Pencil Company. I'm going to have to write this down in front of me. Have I got it? Have I got it right this time?
Cleaning pencil, composite pencil, cleaning. I've got one here. I should know.
I've usually got one of Graham's cards hanging about, and I was like,
composite cleaning pencil.
I did get it right then. I got it wrong before because Graham commented. Anyway, you also might have seen we had a second banner prize pop up, which I've no idea what it was anymore. I think it was something to do with Queen Elizabeth. And Luke will be telling you who the winner is momentarily. So again, please contact us if you are one of the winners. Yeah, we're all up to date. No one's got any questions as of yet. So do you have much reaction from around the world, Kaylee, with your many viewers from not just Holland, the Netherlands, but throughout the world?
Well, I've got a lot of people in the US, quite some in Asia, which I didn't expect up front. But with the theory videos, I get the most reactions from people. Mm-hmm. Not everyone understands the fact that I don't believe in the theories. I actually usually debunk them with scientific explanations. But I think it's funny that when you make a theory video, you want people to click. So of course you use sort of a clickbaity title because it's not actually clickbait, but you want people to click. You want to draw them in. And by doing that and writing a short description, some people think that I do believe in it, or I get attacked sometimes, or yeah, people have very strong feelings. But the reason I started doing that, the reason I started doing the theory videos was because, like with Newgrange, people responded in my comment section that it was built by giants, which no, it doesn't make any sense. But okay, if you believe that, sure. And that kept popping up more and more. And then after the Stonehenge video, it became more. Stonehenge, it's built by aliens, it's built by giants. Well, no, of course it's not, but okay, let's look into it. Do giants exist? Well, no, they don't, but there are people who believe in it. So I'll look at scientific explanations and why do people believe those theories? And yeah, it's very strong reactions, but with the normal videos, it's usually people from the area of what the video is. Like with Watson Break, I got many people from Louisiana who did not know it even existed.
Mm-hmm.
Or with the ziggurat in Iraq, I got people telling me that, or thanking me that I was shining a light on their heritage, on their culture, on their history. So yeah,
well,
mostly the people from the countries themselves.
Yeah. After the break, we're going to come back, obviously, to some of your theories, talk a little bit more about other things, other videos and what have you. But obviously, I think the majority of people here tonight are from the UK, and we'd like to look at one of your theories in particular, which, well, we all know what it's going to be, but we'll get back there momentarily. But if you haven't subscribed already, and I do believe you should, because as Adrian says, they are bite-sized, they are interesting, they are informative, and subscribe. I'm sure Kaylee will appreciate that, and I'm sure you'll learn something. Hey, we've all learned something tonight. So, Kaylee, what can you tell the viewers what your YouTube channel's called?
My channel is called History with Kaylee, and I look into ancient structures, theories surrounding the ancient world, and new discoveries in the field of archaeology.
Marvelous. And again, if you go onto ArchMD Mag TV, you'll find that we've got a playlist there for Kaylee's videos. And obviously, she'll still get the clicks, even if you go through there, but just something you may remember. Phil Will says there is a medical condition called giantism. Yes, absolutely. We know that.
Yes. Only in one part.
But, however, I think we are talking about the giants, as in Jack and the Beanstalk type giants that most people believe roamed and existed in ancient times.
7 meters tall.
Exactly. As opposed to, the Jolly Green Giant exists, but I don't think Kaylee will know who that is. And he actually doesn't exist.
No.
He died earlier last year. It was Jolly Green Giant was a person, he was advertising in the early 70s, late 70s and early 80s, how to cross the road properly. And it was the Green Cross Code man, the Jolly Green Giant. No, he wasn't. That's the sweet corn. What am I on about?
Yes.
Fool. Right, Luke, I'm going to share the screen because we are seconds away from the draw. I'll have to share it first, obviously. Oh, this StreamYard's all changed. The buttons have gone everywhere. So, right, we're on there. So don't forget, the prizes tonight are backwards. First one out will be the composite cleaning pencils and refills. Second prize will be the composite cleaning pencil trio pack. And finally, will be the magnifying coin cleaning station, which is very sexy indeed. Let me just refresh this to make sure we've got the seconds right, which I do believe we have. Look at that. We're right for a change. So, Adrian, first number out.
11.
And you've got 228 of these. Kaylee, what number?
110.
I'll go for 97. It's great, this as well, having these the laptop on. I can actually see what's going on at the side of me as well. Normally, I don't know what's happening.
Oh.
At least I got the 100 right.
I forgot what everyone had. for number 101. So, Kaylee, can you read that out? Can you see it?
No, I can't see it. It's too small.
Right. Norman Innes is the winner of the 2 composite cleaning pencils, and I can't see the rest of it. Can you please contact Graham Dempsey direct, or find him on Facebook or whatnot, and Graham will sort out that for you. We've got another 100 and odd. Kaylee, what number?
121.
Adrian?
197.
3. Oh, 191. And the winner is Terry Reid. Well done. You've won a composite cleaning pencil trio pack. So for the star prize this evening, which is there, because I didn't realise I could do that, which is a sexy magnifying cleaning station. 218.
87.
62.
Kaylee's wait. She's waiting. I thought you were waiting for the next number there. It's a 4. Well, I haven't won anyway because I was 210.
I didn't enter. I didn't think it was fair.
I had to have a go. And the winner of the star prize tonight is Chris Henge. I hope I've pronounced them correctly. You'll all receive an email via Diggers Dips. Thank you to them for hosting again as ever tonight. Thank you to Graham Dempsey of the Composite Cleaning Pencil Company for offering the prizes for tonight. We hopefully have something else coming from him or via him in the coming weeks. But congratulations, Norman Innes for 3rd prize, Terry Reid for 2nd prize, and Chris Nagy for 3rd prize. And we will be back after the break.
I'm Dave D, and you're watching XP Team USA.
will search through the lonely earth for me, climb through the briar and bramble. I'll be your treasure. I felt the touch of the king.
And we're back. I was having a little Detectorist. It's just so relaxing, isn't it? Chilling me out.
Dave,
Yes.
100%. I was like going, I was thinking of sort of June in the summer, sitting under a tree, having a beer or a drink.
All right, leave it now.
And then
Gone too far now, haven't you?
Ground balancing. Oh, bliss. Oh, actually, I wonder if Kayleigh's seen the Detectorists. I don't know if they get iPlayer out there, but I bet she'd like that.
Have you seen the program, The Detectorist, Kaylee?
But I am interested. But I'm going to have to find a way to watch it.
Oh, it's basically a sitcom about two metal detectorists, based around two metal detectorists, and it's so true to reality about metal detecting in the UK, or was, and it's so heartwarming, funny, and a great bromance as well. It's absolutely brilliant.
Lovely, very good.
I'm going to have to look into it.
I've forgotten his name, Dave.
Mackenzie Crook.
Yeah, Mackenzie Crook, who's in Pirates of the Caribbean. He plays sort of one of the lead roles in it.
Okay.
We might have one of them on the show soon, Dave. You never know.
Shh. Giving secrets away. Shh.
Spoiled.
Secrets. Great secrets.
It's all spoiled
yes,
now.
we have been in communication with Mr. Mackenzie Crook. Won't tell anyone. Anyway, let's jump on to this week's finds. Obviously, we are allowed out and about now. So we've asked people to start sharing their finds again, which we can have a look at every week. Kaylee, feel free to jump in at any time you want, and we'll just talk through what's what. So this is a hammered coin by Anthony Jones that he discovered. I'm no good at spotting what's what, but there it is nonetheless. Look at me. You've caught me looking away because I'm actually watching what's on the other screen at that point then. And there's the coin on the end of his pinpointer, I think.
Handle of his spade, I reckon.
Yes, it is. It is. There's a pinpointer on the floor. Next up, this was Ashley Kadowski. He sent a number of images. He didn't tell me if he'd actually found them recently, or these are just some of his collection, because a fantastic way of showing the finds there, Adrian.
Yeah, he's got them in a cabinet, hasn't he? And I really want a cabinet, but my housing manager won't allow me, which I can understand.
I think you might need to get a new one, mate.
What No, I'm actually planning a shed with it all in.
What? Housing manager?
Yeah, with a cage. Is that a cannonball?
Yes, it's his Ashley Kadowski's cannonball.
Always wanted to find a cannonball.
Oh, so have I. I was privy to one once at a rally around in Rochdale, and it was... do you mind carrying it back for me? Yeah, really. Do you want it back?
Yeah.
So some lovely little Romans there. Next up, we have Dean Stainton. This was his finds when he went out this week. Tesco's lemonade shandy. Well done, Dino. Fantastic finds. I actually need one of them. I need about 4 of them, actually, about that size as well.
Mm.
Now this is Detectorware. This is actually the Detectorist, Kaylee. They're based behind Danebury Metal Detecting Club, which was their made-up club.
Very nice.
That they've used on it. And this is a new shirt from Detecting Wear UK. detectingwearuk.co.uk. All his t-shirts are £10. As you can see, the beautiful Mr. Gala wearing one of ours. But that's a fantastic image, isn't it? Leave it.
It's a cool shirt.
It is. It is indeed.
I think, Kaylee, you'd find it very funny, that program, episode, series thing. I think you'd find it very, very funny.
And heartwarming.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad. There's some sad bits in it, but it is good. That's me.
This is his new evolution of female metal detecting. And the big detecting show. Moving on. This is Ian Jackson. He's got a collection of, now he did say what they were, but I forgot to print it out. Colliery tokens, I think, Adrian.
Yeah, mine tags, aren't they?
I was telling someone I worked down Winsford Salt Mine for a period of time back in 95, 96. And it was absolute, sorry?
You worked in a salt mine?
Salt mine, Winsford Salt Mine, yeah. You know where they get all the stuff that they spread on the roads?
Really?
Oh yeah, mate. Honestly, I've about a mile underground, and it was honestly one of the best experiences in my life. Turn all up well. If you went a certain direction to where our hut was below ground, it's so dark and there's no noise because the mining activities were much further away. If you sat there in the dark, the sensory deprivation was phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. And the rest of his colliery tokens. Now, obviously, the bottom one gives it away, and this is what the type we had to use. When you took a lamp out at the start of shift, you'd also take you'd have your own tag, and you'd put your tag on what the charging station for the lamps, and you'd take your lamp away, click it on your belt, and click the lamp on your hard hat. And obviously, at the end of the day, you'd put it back and reclaim your lamp, so they knew basically that everybody was out. That's how that one worked anyway. But fantastic colliery tokens. This is Lee Meller. And I presume this is some form of ornament. Ornament. What?
No, that's a cat bomb. I had those when I was a kid.
Ornament. Oh, right. So you put the caps in it and throw them and they go bang.
Yeah, so you push the spring down and put your caps in it and they go bang. I had those as a kid.
Oh, well
They're
done.
70s, 1950s. That looks 50s because it's
so you were born in the 50s is what you're telling me?
No, I wish I was. 100% wish I was, but yeah.
Next up, this is Mark Flanagan's Bits and Bobs of Crud, as he called it.
Do you know what? He's got a pill packet there.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The biggest thing that I've been finding over the last year have been I don't have a cat, thin sachets of cat food in the middle of fields. And I don't know if it's where foxes pull people's bins, but they're like foil. So,
Stone Age man, mate.
No, the amount of times I'm like getting a signal and it's not a can, it's less than a can.
Yeah.
Could be hammered.
Stone Age man loved cats. It's obviously for them.
Packet, like 4 miles from the nearest road or house. My mate James, who's in the chat, will confirm it drives me up the wall. How the hell do they get there? And it's not green waste. It's just because the field's clean. It's just these cat packets.
Now, next up is a cannonball, and this was discovered by Mark McMullen. Now, he's actually wrote, how's this for a bit of history from a 2-hour session on a new field this morning? An amazing cannonball. It's 5 centimeters round, 2.5 inches in old money, and weighs in at 530 grams, 1 pound, 2.5 ounces. I also found a musket ball, which I've added to the photo for scale, together with a pre-clean photo. It was found within firing distance of Woolworth Castle. Could it be from there? Other finds included a lovely silver brooch and a couple of 18th century bridle rings. History at its best. Now start the research, which we have an update on when we come to it. So there's his little brooch, which is quite delightful. There's the cannonball again. Size and scale. Now, this update on a cannonball post. Given the dimensions of the shot and after further research and reference to archaeological sources, I'm pretty sure the cannonball was fired from a falconet cannon. The falconet was one of the smallest cannons developed in the late 15th century and continued to use into the mid-17th century. The falconet resembled an oversized matchlock musket with 2 wheels attached to improve mobility. In addition to its mobility, it was also popular during the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, as it was lighter and cheaper than larger culverin, saker, and minion cannons. So, fantastic bit of research there, isn't it?
Yeah. Must be quite accurate with that long barrel.
Absolutely. Now, your next several photographs are from Mark Lawson, and that's the YouTube channel Marky Mark Gone Digging. Out for a few hours this morning, first thing. Probably the best day I had so far. 38 Romans in all and a silver siliqua. How do I pronounce that? Have I said it right? Siliqua.
Yeah.
And part of a brooch. Love finding loads of pottery too. His video of this discovery is actually on YouTube at Marky Mark Gone Digging. So as you can see, you've got the pottery, you've got the brooch, and you've got all the coins. What a fantastic find.
It's not bad for a day out, is it? Crikey.
And look at the imagery on them. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Not much. Calm down, Dave. I've had a drink. Some fantastic quality in them coins, isn't there?
Yeah. You're making me laugh, Dave.
Do you like them, Kaylee?
Yeah, I really do. They look good.
And the pottery, look at the decoration on it as well.
It looks pretty fresh.
Mm.
It's well made.
Very. That's a mad one at the top. It's got something. Where's it gone? It's got a hole in it.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's interesting. If anybody in the chatting room knows why, please let me know.
Maybe they put it on a necklace or a string.
Potentially.
For when they die.
This will be the pot rim.
Nice shoe.
Look at that. If we had people more knowledgeable than me on now, like, I don't know, Adam Staples, or tell me, or Chip Krasinski especially, he'd tell me exactly what that was. But for now, you just get lovely pictures. He's a nice one, isn't he? I'm
more intrigued in his footwear, Dave.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
There's his bit of a brooch. Now, this is Pavel Sinikov from Russia and some of the finds that he's recently discovered. Again, beautiful collection.
Cool, yeah. Wow.
Nice that he's actually took it as well with the on a piece of wood for show decoration, but also with the water on it. You don't see many imagery finds like that, do we?
No.
And that's just another collection of bits and bobs. You see, he's in Russia and he's finding crotal bowls, and I still can't find one in England.
I'll post you one.
I don't want somebody done that once. You know, they give me an actual homemade musket ball, which in the end, when I finally found my first musket ball, I passed that on to somebody else who hadn't found one, and it's gone on from there.
Oh.
This is Shane Holdcroft. Bits and bobs, bits of crud, a couple of bullets, nice knife. Talking of knives, oof, I like knives.
Oh yeah, show us your blade, Dave.
I will in a minute. I'm not sure what this is. I asked people, could they actually give us a brief explanation as to what it is, because it's difficult for me to actually speak about it unless I've got a clue what it is, and I haven't because I'm me. Another selection of his finds, bit of a spoon in there, some coins. Is that a little Roman I see there? Is that a Roman?
Could be, yeah. Andrek's kitchen roll.
Oh yes, only the best will do.
Yeah.
And that is it for tonight's selection of finds. So thank you everybody for your input. I'm glad to have them back. Obviously, we've missed them not coming in the past couple of months while we've been in lockdown. So it's nice to see some finds again. So please keep them coming via the Big Detecting Show page, and we will have a good look at them. Just going through the comments. Have you any questions popped up while we've been looking at the images?
We have. I've been sneakily watching. History Unearthed had a question, or a comment more. They found a Queen Wilhelmina coin a few months ago, and they wondered how it made it over there to the UK. Well, they haven't been in circulation since 2002. So, yeah, it's been almost 19 years now.
Yeah, I've got a little story about a Dutch coin I found in a field in the UK. I did the gold dance, which metal detectorists by law have to do a little dance when they find gold. And it was an 1893 gold coin with the monarch lady from that time. Unsure of your history, I'm afraid. And everything about it was spot on. So I sent it for identification to a coin dealer. And he was very, very interested actually purchasing a coin, which I was not going to do in any way, shape or form. But he said, Dave, can you do something for me? I said, certainly. So he said, have you got any scales? Yes, we have scales. Could you weigh it? So I weighed it, and the weight was substantially lower than it should have been. Anyway, he zoomed in on one of the images of the coins that I set, and right at the very bottom, under everything else, in very small writing that you could only see if you concentrated, was the letters COPIE. It was a copy. I had to take the gold dance back.
Oh, Dave.
Devastated.
So unfair.
Rob Random says, Dave, have you been going down? I won't go there. Phil Willis said, foxes bring all sorts of stuff onto my garden. I think we must have had another question from Luke while I was busy because nothing was popping up on the screen. Eagle-eyed DJI says, cat packets give such a good signal. Sure, it's the foxes. Pomsey says, I've got a cannonball kicking around the house somewhere. Last seen, my boy was using it as a doorstop about 10 years ago. Excellent. Right, so what I'm going to do now, Kaylee, again, I'm going to start share the screen because I asked you to send some images over earlier, which you obviously have done. And we'll go through them. First up is going to be, obviously, I'd like to... Have I shared the screen yet, Luke?
Not yet.
Yes,
Not yet.
Haven't I? That's because I hadn't done it. That's why. So, there you go.
Yes.
We were talking about, before the show, about the history near to yourself. And we were talking about the potential of, obviously, World War finds. And you said this was very close. Tell us about this place, because it's fabulous looking.
It's about a 25, 30-minute car ride away from me. It's in Egmond, which is near the coast. You have Egmond aan zee, which means Egmond at sea. So it's a town near the coast, beach town. When you go there from my town, I live more inwards in the land. I live exactly between the IJsselmeer, which is the biggest lake in the Netherlands, and the North Sea. And when you drive up to Egmond, you pass a lot of these bunkers. So this is just one field where they are, but like they're everywhere.
It's
interesting how they're all together, whereas ours are dotted individually, probably quarter of a mile apart.
Some of them here are clustered, but most of them are separate. Yeah.
Do you go in, Kaylee? Sorry, Dave.
No, carry on.
I have not been into one. I have not felt the need to go in a bunker. No.
And these are protected by Dutch heritage.
Yes. Although they are vandalized, graffiti, and sometimes people hold raves in them. They have parties. Yeah.
I found this interesting. I didn't notice earlier that it's actually got it's a moated area. There's waterway completely surrounding it. Was that part of the defences, or is it a modern thing to obviously protect the site from people getting in and out?
A bit of both, I guess. Most of our grasslands are moated, almost all of it. If you look at like the tulip fields, most of them are moated.
All right.
Oh.
See, I'm learning more things tonight.
Irrigation, water. When in the summer the water level gets low, we use like the water from the moats to water the tulips or vegetables. Yeah.
No, I never know that. Easy bloody fix as well.
Mm.
So this is one of the places that we discussed earlier in the show.
Yes.
I'm going to let you do it because the pronunciation and me, I'll get it all wrong and people will laugh.
Okay, wait, I'll grab the same picture on my screen because that's a bit easier for me to read since it is in English. The Havelterberg, a boulder clay ridge with a height of 19 meters, was formed in the penultimate ice age around 150,000 years ago. A massive sheet of ice then pushed the soil up into ridges. Containing in that ice were large boulders from Scandinavia. Between 3400 and 3100 BC, farmers dug up some of those boulders and used them to build two large burial chambers, the Hunebedden D53 and D54. Yes.
That's fascinating. So if we go start looking, this is your good self at the location, I think.
Yes.
Are we sharing, Luke? There it is.
Yes. Yes, that's me in front of D53, the largest of the two, which is the second largest dolmen in the Netherlands.
Now, has this been in any way renovated, or is it in the
yes,
the original format?
Yes.
It's not been fell apart and people have put it back together.
Yes, it has. In the Second World War, the Germans in the area took down D53, the entire dolmen, and they dug a pit and they put all the boulders into that pit. And D54 is like on the other side of the road. They left that but covered it with sand as they made an airstrip in the area.
Right.
And one professor, I'm gonna have to check the name because I don't want to say it wrong. Let me see. In 54, it was Professor van Giffa. He arranged with the German Air Force.
Yeah, Dave would have said it wrong.
Professor van Giffa made arrangements with the German Air Force to not destroy the stones because they wanted to like smash it and demolish it completely. But because of him, they dug the pit and they threw the stones in that pit. And he had drawn out beforehand the exact position, and so that after the war he could recreate it in its original position, which they've done eventually. Yes.
We took some great photographs. The next shot, I think, is the favorite of the ones that you sent.
Yeah, my boyfriend made them. Most of the pictures he made because I was way too busy with what are we going to do. But yeah, he made he actually laid down within the dolmens, like something they tell us from a young age to never do. But yeah, tell a guy something he can't do and he will do it anyway.
Yeah, that's us.
Yes. And this is D54. This is the smaller one.
This was the one that was covered in sand.
Already big, but it's smaller than the first.
Now, in England, we
Yes.
generally have English Heritage or the National Trust that are associated on the management of these types of sites. For instance, the
Yes.
Bridestones by May. Is there a similar body in the Netherlands that does the same
Yes.
job?
We have Staatsbosbeheer, which is the nature reserve management. And they preserve the woods and they make sure that everything is kept tidy. We have forest guards appointed by them, who make sure that people don't set things on fire or clean up their stuff when they've been there. And they are also the ones managing the hunebedden, or the dolmens, as it's actually called. In Dutch, it's called hunebedden, and it means giant's beds. It's a weird name.
It's nice because in England that would be covered in spray paint, probably, with a lot of people smoking cannabis around it. But yeah, it's nice how it looks really well kept and clean and tidy.
Well, the funny thing about the Dutch dolmens is that they weren't actually just dolmens. They used to be mounds. They used to be the D53, the largest one, used to be a passage mound. The earth, the entire mound structure has disappeared over time, and we only have the granite skeletal remains left.
Right.
And this used to be a portal mound because it didn't have the porch.
Right.
Yeah, it was incredible to go there. It was in the middle of summer, but as you can see, Dutch weather isn't much different than English weather.
No.
Middle of June, very cloudy.
Yeah.
You're used to that, I think.
Is that your boyfriend on the floor?
Yes.
Taking said picture from before.
Yes, I snapped him.
Do you know, looking at this, I don't know if you watch The Curse of Oak Island, Kaylee, but they're doing.
I have watched it in the past.
Currently talking about snake mounds and snake mounds throughout the United States, which you'll obviously know about. But I could actually envisage if this was continued for quite a distance, let's say another 20 meters, the same, and then covered it with soil, it would be somewhat not dissimilar to the snake mounds. In how I would think they were actually structured. Interesting.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely young couple having the picture taken by one of the mounds.
Yes, that's on the back side of D53, the larger one. So on the other side, yes, on this side we have the porch. The porch is like in the middle. You have the 3 stones with the big capstone. That's the porch, which was the entrance, and the burial chamber was to the right of the porch.
And is that actually the road that we can see that the photographer stood on?
Yes.
Wow,
that's the road. It's cars are not allowed on the road, but Staatsbosbeheer, who manage the entire area, they are allowed to drive on it. But it's actually more of like a bike path currently. Yes.
Next up, there's that. That's the last one.
My channel banner.
There you go. So you won't forget anybody. History with Kaylee.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm actually, Kaylee, an article that I put together for the website. I am sending you the link to the article now because it's a Neolithic burial cairn, which is minutes from my house. I absolutely love going up there. And it's very, very peculiar because it's so important historically, locally, that some people locally haven't got a clue it exists. Madness, which is like what you were saying earlier about some of the people who comment on your videos. Yeah.
I think it's funny to realize how much we don't know about where we live, about our own areas. It's not something that's generally spoken about, that for thousands of years people have been living here or there or wherever, you know. Most people, especially in the US, when you speak with people, they think a 400-year-old something is already very old. Well, I live in a town of almost 1,000 years old. So 400 years to me, yeah, it's old, but it's not ancient. It doesn't feel ancient. But we've had ancient stuff in the US. And that's, I think, most people who saw my Watson Break video about Louisiana had no idea that 5,000 years ago the area was inhabited. They did leave parts behind for us.
Coming back to one of the questions earlier, or one of the information from Darren Booth, he said the Queen Wilhelmina coin was a 25 cent dated 1928.
Oh, from before the Second World War. Awesome. That's cool. That's a really old coin.
Rob Random asks, do you travel by a traditional Dutch bike?
Oh,
I do not ride a bike anymore. I used to, but I've had a surgery almost 9 years ago, and that made it for me. Well, it's impossible for me to ride a bike without much discomfort. Yeah, I prefer walking.
You should get a nice little sidecar on the side of a bicycle and get your boyfriend to do all the traveling. You just sit there and video the trip.
That sounds good.
So, if people were to come over to the channel, which we hope they do, what would you suggest be the video that they should look for first?
Either Skara Brae or probably the Pyramid of Djoser.
Oh, I've not seen that one myself.
Yeah,
I'll write that down.
Those are kind of my favorites I've made so far. Yes.
And you've got, I take it you've got in mind a lot of material for future presentations as well.
Yeah, I have a note. I have an app with notes on my phone. I keep adding new locations to my deep dive folder. I've got at least 30 videos to make, which if you think about 1, maybe 2 videos a month that are deep dives, I've got a few years planned ahead. I keep adding stuff. And with theory videos, what do I stumble upon, or what do I think about, or sometimes I watch an episode of Ancient Aliens and it gives me an idea of, oh, that's going to be a future video. Or like with the whales in Egypt, in the desert, I stumble upon a picture of a whale skeleton in the middle of the desert, and I'm like, I'm going to have to investigate this. And then I find out that it's actually there, and it used to be an ocean, and it seems so strange finding a whale skeleton in the desert. But yeah.
What are your views on UFOs and things alike, Kaylee?
Well, I think it's a bit egotistical of humans to think that aliens do not exist, because the universe is so large, so they have to exist. Intelligent aliens, I mean. But if they've come here, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they've been here. We're a very small planet in a small galaxy. I'm sure they would have better things to do, honestly. We like to attack each other as humans. I don't think that that's very interesting to them. Or they would make it into like a television show like South Park showed.
I've never thought of it like that before. But yeah, you're right. We're killing ourselves, aren't we, really?
I mean, why go somewhere? Well, if you see 2 people fight, you're not going to go there and say, hey, I'm going to become friends with you. They're fighting. Let them fight. You just watch from a distance like the disaster tourist you are, and you have fun.
Disaster tourist, brilliant.
It's a thing in the Netherlands. When there's an accident or anything, you just know that disaster tourists will be there and they'll just watch. They don't call for help or anything. They just stand there and they just watch.
I'm going to use that term
unfold.
For the viewers, if you could do myself and Luke and Adrian a big favour, we would like you to go over to Kayleigh's channel. We would like you to find the whale video. We'd like you to subscribe, and we'd like you to like the video and write a comment underneath related to the Big Detecting Show, so we know you've been there. And again, we'll sort out another prize if that's okay with Kayleigh, and we'll hopefully get you some new subscribers as well.
Awesome. Always welcome.
That was Luke's idea. He texted me. I won't take credit for that.
Well, thank you, Luke.
I'm busy thinking of aliens.
What about
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I am every day. What about mythical sea creatures like, for example, Loch Ness? Is that ever intrigued you? Loch Ness monster?
It has, definitely. I think if it were to exist, it would probably be a remnant of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That would make most sense to me, but I'm gonna have to ask my sister, who is a paleontologist, on that, if she would maybe share her findings with me, like her ideas. Yeah.
Oh,
One thing that we haven't asked:
Mhm.
how have you got any background history, any credentials? Like your sister's a paleontologist, so she's obviously done exams and such like. Have you done any archaeological courses, any history-related courses in university in Holland, or is it solely a passion of your own?
It's completely a passion. I studied architecture for 2 years, but I stopped because we had the big recession everywhere. I mean, it was a global recession. The companies, the building companies here all shut down. And me as a female, I couldn't get an internship, so I stopped my studies. But yeah, I've been passionate about history. It was the one course at school next to English that I always aced. So it's been about my own passion, and I dive into it myself. My sister is a paleontologist, but I don't ask her for help. She just got a baby and she lives in Sweden. She's doing a new PhD. She's busy enough. So I did make the whale fossil video, which is more into paleontology, but she hasn't watched it yet, so I have no idea how I did. I might have messed it up.
I'm just googling how to say thank you in Dutch. So, dank je wel.
Dank je wel.
Dank je wel.
Yes. You're welcome.
See, Google's rubbish. It's just telling me the wrong
Google
word.
is indeed rubbish.
Yeah, don't use that. But you definitely did well in English and history at school. Like I said, your English is very, very good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
It is, because when I first started watching the episodes on your channel, I spoke to Luke and I spoke to Adrian, and I think all three of us were like, "Where's she from? Is she from England?" And she's living in Holland.
Yeah.
Couldn't make out, because your English in some is so good. We're like, is she English or is she American? Weren't we, Adrian?
Yeah, well, I thought English stroke American. So, and you've got the right top on. So, yeah, USA top. So, yeah, it's out of interest. If I visited near where you live and looked at the things you've shown today, is there English translations under everything, historical monuments in your country?
With the dolmens in the east, where the dolmens are, every sign about the dolmens is in Dutch and the backside is in English.
The backside is English.
Yeah,
we're always the backside.
The picture that Dave showed us, I made, that was the backside of the plaque near the dolmens. Yeah, and the front side is in Dutch.
Is that sorry?
No, go ahead.
Is that, if I travelled your country, would that be the same case for any historical monuments? Would they be described in English as well, or is it Dutch?
Most likely, yes. Most likely in English as well. Yeah, we cater a lot to our tourists.
Adrian,
but like, if you guys like cheese, we
like Edam, we like powder.
My nearest town is called Alkmaar, and they have a traditional cheese market every Friday between April and September. I highly, highly recommend, because not only do you watch people in traditional clothes bringing cheese around in the traditional way, you can actually buy the cheese, taste it, take it with you. There's a cheese museum, and on the other side of the square is a beer museum.
Oh,
what else do you need?
I think Kaylee could succeed in making me fat.
I think a cheese
fat and drunk.
A cheese museum with a beer museum next. Does the beer museum sell alcohol?
A cheese museum. Yep.
Does the beer museum sell beer,
Yeah.
Kayleigh?
Yeah. Yes.
Adrian, road trip.
Cheese and beer.
Next Friday, I'll pick you up.
Lockdown, mate. Can't get out of the country.
Oh no!
Between April and September on Fridays.
I've got a dinghy. We could ride across the channel.
We've got a question for Kaylee. What's the cat's name?
My cat's name. This is Mosi. I have 2 cats, but today I have Mosi with me. Say hi. And he's almost 8.
If Mosey had said hi then, that would have been TV gold.
It would. But he's being a bit of a brat because he slept the whole time. Apparently I woke him up. So he's not very happy at the moment.
Adrian, he's looking at you.
I know. Lovely cat.
I used to film my cats a lot.
If you move your head around, it follows you everywhere. Eagle Eye DJI says, I love the stories of old from the UK, dragons and magic. If you do pop onto the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine website or app, and you look in the mythology and folklore section, you will see a hell of a lot of articles by a cryptozoologist author called Richard Freeman. And was it last week we put the sea serpent ones up, Adrian?
Yes, I read that with interest, Dave.
And we've been publishing them at about 5-6 o'clock every week. So we've got another one coming, I think, tomorrow night in the series of the articles by Richard Freeman. Don't forget, anybody, if you do want to send us an article, even if it's just an image, and I've noticed I've had a few images sent through tonight, and I'm hoping to follow up with one viewer called Steve Mobbs about his cannonball find, and be able to publish that through the website as well. So please feel free to contact us with anything like that. Luke, can we have the Dave cam on a moment, please? Because I'm sure Mr. Gaylor and I can give it a quick bit to this. There you go. This is what Dave cam was made for. This is the McGrafter spade that Adrian was discussing last week. And Paul has kindly sent one over for ourselves at the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine to review. And I am infatuated with it. I was walking around the house all day with it yesterday until the boy saddler took it off me because he wanted to walk around with the house with it. And is it exceptionally light? And for me, the game changer for me is this, as Adrian said last week, this one pop extension, and it goes all the way up to 4 feet, which for me, you can't be bothered bending down. It's an absolute godsend. So
it defies physics, Dave. When I got it, I thought there's no way I could dig with this because it's so light, isn't it? It's so light. It doesn't. It feels like a walking stick more than a spade. Sorry, Kate. When
no
you're
worries.
You obviously have a spade or a shovel,
and
they're normally heavier than your metal detector. So it's always a bit of a pain having to carry your spade with you. And a British guy has invented a carbon fibre one, and it is extremely lightweight and very, very strong. He uses carbon fibre used in the automotive industry, and I've had one for a couple of weeks now and been testing it out. And you obviously had an operation on your back, so you'll realise that something lightweight and easy to use is beneficial, especially for our hobby.
And obviously the extension as well, being able to extend it to the length it goes to for the shaft is also helps. For me, having a bad back, it helps with the shaft extension to obviously help me immensely. I kept on saying that to make Adrian laugh.
No, it's not got too big a girth on the shaft, so it's ideal when you're metal detecting. And the guy who designed it and developed it actually had a bad back injury, from what I can gather. So he wanted something for the hobby, and probably the same in your country. When when someone designs something in your country and it's a first, it's something to be celebrated on, really.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so I'm pleased and I like it. So I'm hoping to go out with it soon this week.
Yeah, unfortunately,
That's awesome.
last week's show, the guest had to cancel because we couldn't get a link between us. So instead, me and Adrian done an entire show about the spade.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know.
Right. Well, I think we've kept Kaylee far too long. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. I know you're an hour later over in Holland, and that's way past my bedtime at that time. So we can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've learned several things, especially Holland and Netherlands are two different things. That's mind blowing.
Yes.
46 years of age and never knew that. So
I'm glad I learned. I taught you something. That's good.
You certainly have. And I sent you the link, as I said before, to an article. If you ever feel that would suit your videos,
absolutely,
I'm more than happy. As I say, it's 5 minutes away to go and do some video clips for you as well of just the scenery and whatnot. So if you ever feel like doing that, please let me know. As I say, I'm not 5 minutes away, and it's I pass it going to and coming home from work, so it would be easy as stopping the car and doing it. So again, could you please let everybody know what the YouTube channel is?
My YouTube channel is History with Kaylee on youtube.com, and feel free to hang around. Yeah, join me in my discovery into the ancient past.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing your future videos, and I'm sure a lot of people have got a lot of viewing to do in the meantime. So, Adrian, anything else before we go?
I'm sure.
Just a quick question. Simon Hadlow said, would the McGrafter survive the hard soil in the summer? I went out with it in Essex wet clay, soggy, hard clay, which is easy to get into, but to lift up, it was vacuuming up. It was awful. And it did really well on that. And I also stood on the shaft at an angle, which I shouldn't have done, speaking to the designer. So time will tell, but in the summer, I reckon it will do well because it cuts into the soil. So digging in isn't a problem. It's more the lifting, but it seemed quite cool. Kaylee, I'd love to say thank you very much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And keep up the good work with your YouTube channel. So thank you. And I look forward to coming out to Holland soon.
To go to the cheese museum and the beer museum.
I'm going to dream of cheese and beer museum tonight because that sounds really, really interesting.
Good.
Marvelous. Well, again, thank you very much, Kaylee. It's been an
me.
absolute pleasure. Next week's show, we have Dan Spencer from the Searcher magazine, and myself and Adrian have just been booking in future guests, which I think we're more or less to the end of March now. I'll do the announcements. We're just waiting for one or two confirmations from the 28th of February in particular. But we have people like Jason and Lisa Jones. I've got Lisa's. Is it Lisa? That's right, isn't it? Norfolk Button Boy and Norfolk Girl YouTube. We've also got Cy Fines coming on, who Adrian has said that he's got absolutely fantastic videos on about John Webb. John Webb, the metal detectorist from quite a few years ago, who put his life and soul into it and wrote a number of books, Adrian.
Highly recommend it. If someone's wanting to watch something on YouTube tonight, Cy Fines John Webb, detecting from the early 70s till unfortunately passed away last year. He made a living out of metal detecting, pretty much, and found he did scuba diving in the Thames, gold panning in Scotland, metal detecting, and he's found thousands of artifacts. And he wrote for Treasure Hunting magazine, but he's a proper old school detectorist, and I'd recommend watching his channel on or not his channel, but Cy Fines' channel on YouTube, because Cy Fines is Simon, or Cy Fines is a mudlarker, but he also detects. But he'll be coming on the show March 24th, I think. Dave.
remember.
But yeah, but we've got loads of good guests. And
We have. We've also got Detecting with Emily coming on.
yes, Emily, Detecting with Emily. She's found some interesting finds recently with her dad. She goes out, and it's always nice to have women in the hobby because, like a lot of hobbies, detecting historically has been a man thing, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
And there is a lot more women coming in the hobby, which is good.
So look forward to the coming months. As I say, I think we've got about 6 people lined up for future shows now. So I'll start posting them and let people know exactly what's what. But if you go onto the Big Detective Show Facebook group, you'll see the running order, and you'll see the people who we've got up to now have been penned in. Excuse me. So I don't, myself and Adrian don't mix each other up. Phil says, when is the Grail guy back? As soon as we can. We've got a date identified at the moment. And obviously we just need to speak to him first to see he's going to be able to actually connect. So again, Kaylee, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. He's waving at you from over there.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to everybody for participating and watching the show tonight. For any of the prize winners, I've got no idea what was going on anymore, so I've no idea what competitions happened. Please don't forget to go on to Kaylee's YouTube channel to subscribe, find the whale video, and write Big Detecting Show or something below so we know it's you, and we will draw something for one of those people too. So again, thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, everybody else. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Laura, because she's probably doing something. And good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.
Bye, Dave.
Did you know that whales evolved from a land-based animal into an ocean-going mammal? To look into the evidence, we need to look at the desert, which I know sounds a bit strange when talking about whales. But did you know that the ocean used to roam across the current location of the Egyptian desert? Approximately 37 million years ago, whales used to swim around the enormous Tethys Ocean at what is today the dry and windy West Egyptian desert. A graveyard of fossilized whale bones demonstrates the evolution of whales. My name is Kaylee, and today we're going to look at the incredible location that is Wadi al-Hitan, also known as the Whale Valley. Located approximately 190 kilometers southwest of Cairo, this is the most important site in the world for the demonstration of the evolution of whales. The common ancestor of whales and all other land animals was a flat-headed salamander-shaped tetrapod that threw itself out of the sea onto muddy banks about 360 million years ago. Its descendants gradually evolved the function of their lungs, their fins into legs, and their jaw joints to hear in the air instead of water. 60 million years ago, these evolved mammals turned out to be the most successful of the animal kingdom. But whales were among a tiny handful of mammals that made an evolutionary U-turn, evolving back to eat, move, sense, and mate underwater. How whales accomplished this enormous transformation is about to